I feel like we are running out of places that inspire us to create.
What up, y'all? Yeah, soundtrack, what's poppin', baby? If y'all ain't know, I go by the name of Lupe Fiasco, representing that first and 15. Yeah, and this one right here, I dedicate this one right here to all my homies out there grinding. You know what I'm saying? Legally and illegally. You know what I'm talking about? So, check it out. First got it when he was 6, didn't know any tricks. Matter of fact, first time he got on it, he slipped, landed on his hip and busted his lip. For a week he had to talk with a list like this. Now we can end the story right here, but shorty didn't quit. It was something.
You may be asking why I showcase a lot of different architecture in downtown, but give me one moment and I'll show you. So this year I've been part of a post-baccalaureate program doing biochemistry research, and every day has felt a little bit repetitive in terms of the experiments I'm doing. And I know a lot of us, and even myself, have worked jobs in the past in retail or in cooking, and there's a lot of jobs nowadays that are just so repetitive that they prevent us from thinking. It's something where we're going through the routine, going through the motion, and we're not applying a lot of critical thinking skills. My program is about to end, and this week I've been working on a poster. And if you have ever made a poster, it's a very repetitive process in terms of like looking at the same images and trying to make them all the same size, making sure everything's the right font, making sure everything's centered, and it just tires you out. And at the end of the day, you don't even want to do anything. Like, you've just been in this constant loop and you just want to do whatever. You want to doom scroll, you want to watch TV, you don't want to do anything else that requires thinking. And the reason why I'm bringing architecture into this is because we're building a lot of structures, especially like single family homes, that all kind of look the same. There's a lot of residential developers that are creating these communities where every single house has like the same blueprint. And there's not a lot of nuance, there's not a lot of diversity in the buildings that we're seeing. The reason I think it's important to have a diversity of different structures to look at is due to the fact that where I live, I feel like there is a good amount of kind of diversity in the different houses. I feel like all of them kind of apply a different architectural style. And just looking at those kind of stimulates thought. I'm looking at these houses and I'm thinking, why is this visually appealing to me? What is it that I'm liking about this house? Is it the lines? Is it the shapes? Is it the color scheme that they did with the paint? It's promoting me to think about something else rather than my work. In our modern day society, especially at least in the United States, I should say, and hugely in Texas where there's so much land to build, we drive past these houses every day, and instead of us kind of having something unique to look at and think about after a long day of work, after a day of doing repetitive tasks, instead now it just all looks the same, and there's not a lot of things that are pushing us to think about something else. And I would be oblivious to not acknowledge the fact that, hey, there are economic advantages, obviously, to building these communities that all share the same blueprint. And, you can use the same resources because they all kind of look the same. So you don't have to waste a lot more on different materials. So I can acknowledge the fact that it's supposed to be a way to make cheaper for people who are looking out to buy a home. However, I feel like, especially here in the United States, where a quarter of all households are occupied by only a single person. And because of that, I feel like we should build middle housing more. And what I mean by that is like building more like condos and townhomes where especially young homeowners can buy a house that isn't huge, especially because a lot of the times they come at a price point that is more attractive and they don't come with all the space that they don't need. And this is actually a strategy that's already been implemented in Portland, Oregon. And to tie it back in, if you have middle housing, you can invest a little bit more to make them all look a little bit different, to have different color schemes so that not every single house is so monotone. I hope you all have something outside of your work that kind of inspires you or pushes you. Maybe for you it's not architecture, for you it may be listening to music and seeing how people express themselves. Maybe for you it's reading and seeing how people write. Whatever it is, I hope you're finding a thing or a space where you can go to and that inspires you and motivates you, because I feel like as humans our potential is limitless and the only limit is the currency of motivation. And motivation is hard to draw only from work. I feel like you need other avenues, you need other sources to bring in motivation into your life. I feel like making everything look the same is kind of almost a master plan to imprison your mind into thinking the same way, to lacking critical thinking skills, because our jobs are already kind of drawing away from our creativity. If we're doing something every day if our mental energy is being applied into something that's not making us think critically, then we're losing a lot of time and we're losing a lot of practice in finding creative solutions. And yeah, I might be crazy for saying that, but comment what you think below. Comment if architecture in your neighborhood is something that you feel like kind of inspires you and gives you a lot of energy to go out and create. I also want to give a shout out to anybody who's graduating this month. I graduated a year ago today. It's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations if you did graduate this semester. Other than that, I hope you're all still stacking wins. If you stayed to the end of the video and you liked it, please give it a like. Consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
It was something in the air, yeah. He said it was something so appealing. He couldn't fight the feeling, something about it. He knew he couldn't doubt it.